pop up. This video is not your normal video. Currently outside, it is freezing. And everyone knows, especially those up north, know that you cannot garden in freezing temperatures. It's not good for your health. And here I am. It's not good for your health, and it's grueling out there. I have went out there in the past couple of days prior to the snow hitting Austin area, because I am in the Austin area of Texas, zone 9A, and we don't normally get freezing temperatures, but when we do, I understand how the people up north, I'm originally from New York City. Why are you growling? My dog. um, I understand how people up north feel, because there is nothing, there is no, nothing you can do because of weather. If it's raining really hard, and especially when it's cold and raining. How you doing, Full Circle Chick? Let me pull myself up on this thing so I can see the chat. But there is nothing you can do to about the, oh, I forgot this is a laptop. I'm trying to touch screen it. There's nothing you can do to change the weather. The weather is the weather. So you got to just deal with it. There it is. You have to just deal with it, and man, it's hard. How do I turn this thing now? I just got this computer. I just got this computer. I want to mute the, just a moment. How do I mute it? My iPad is acting up. So let's see. No, I don't want to do that. This is going to be hard today. Thing is giving me the business. What did I just do? I'm frozen on this one. I hope I'm not frozen with you guys. So one of the things that I do is I go ahead and plant for the next season. But there are only so many things you can do for the next season, because the stuff will overgrow. Technical difficulties, guys. So just a moment. There it is. I need to turn this down. All right, and then how come I'm on someone else's live now? This is so ridiculous. I don't know what I just did. So because we have things that we cannot do, we go ahead and we plant seeds, and we plant other things, and there's only so many things you can plant. There are other things that you can do. Now, I have chickens. They keep me busy. I have to go out there and feed them, and I have to go out there and make sure that they're taken care of. But man, it is not easy. Apparently, somebody else is out on a live. Let me see here. Let me go back to my history. Here it is. Here I am. Okay. So one of the things I do is I go ahead and plant. So this one is eggplant, and you can see, how you doing, G Mama Grows Hard in the Garden? You can see that there's a little sprout coming up right there, right there. But then what else do you do? I have ordered trees, like y'all are going to see this later. I ordered some American persimmon saplings. They weren't very much money, because I have other trees that I have planted, like Fuyu and Izu persimmons, but I didn't have any American persimmons. I got some other stuff in, but there's not much you can do in the wintertime. So a lot of people have been organizing their seeds. A lot of people have been planting little, the little things that take a long time, like peppers and tomatoes and eggplant, basically nightshades, especially here in the hot zone of Texas, Louisiana. Well, I can only speak for Austin, Texas. It gets super hot in the summertime. And your tomatoes, if you don't get any in early spring, the summertime hits, you're not going to get any. All the flowers are going to fall off, and the tomatoes are just going to stop producing. Peppers the same way. Eggplant the same way. Eggplant are not as bad though. Eggplant has those big old leaves that somehow shade the flowers, and sometimes you get fruit. But with tomatoes and peppers, all the flowers fall off. So if I don't plant in January, where's my beefsteak tomato? If I don't start planting seeds in January, I'm not going to get any, especially if they're determinate tomato. I just know that if I lose all the flowers for determinates, it's not going to flower again. They only flower one time. So I find myself planting tomatoes, like cherry tomatoes, stuff that will go ahead, and I think Roma will rebloom. So they bloom early spring, and then they come back in the fall, because all summer long, I'm just struggling to keep them alive. So there are other things that I have done, like as a kid, and I restore furniture. You got to do something with your time. Don't just sit there and watch TV and get engrossed in YouTube and don't move, because man, if you don't move at certain ages, you are not going to be able to after a while, and you're going to lose the ability to do the things that you love, which is gardening. Now let me go to the chat for a second. So G Mama is here. Hello, that's my art. And G Mama Grows Hard in the Garden says, I'm surely using this time to get my plants organized and seeds too. Yeah, you got to keep moving now. My yard currently is a mess, but it's too cold for me to go out there and fix it. I got pots everywhere. So before the planting season, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get everything in order. And then you have, as a gardener, you accumulate so much stuff, right? I don't know about you, but I don't want to keep buying pots, and I don't want to keep buying a bunch of fertilizer. Where do you store all this stuff? Or a bunch of soil? Normally, I only buy soil to start my seedlings. But even that is a lot, because I'm trying to get to the point where I don't have to buy other people's soil. I'm trying to start composting myself. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go into the chicken coop, gather up all those leaves, because I use the leaves that fall from the tree to put it into the run. I'm going to gather all that stuff up, put it in the bin, and let it compost. So I don't have to buy this anymore. Hello, GT Junior Grows at Alaska. I just saw you on your live. You must have ended it. I couldn't go over there because I was over here. I didn't realize you were there. So planting is one thing you can do. Another thing is organizing all your seeds. I have the same problem. You buy these seeds and you put them in a pile and you say, I'm going to organize it. And sometimes initially I had plastic bags, like Walmart, but not even nice plastic bags full of seeds. Finally, I went and bought some little bins from the Dollar Tree, and I tried to put them in alphabetical order by category. So I have vegetables, and then I have flowers, herbs, and fruit all in one tray, so that I can find it, because it's not easy to find that stuff. And then when you're looking for it, even sometimes when you organize it, you can't find it. Example, my Casper eggplant, I have not found those seeds. I don't know if they're right over there. I have some that I was planning to grow, but I don't know if they're over there. I don't know where they are right now. And that irritates me, because I like to find my things. So there are other things you could do. So find something you love to do. I hate to say it, besides gardening. I have the chickens, right? When I was a little girl, my family taught me how to crochet, right? Here. My family taught me how to crochet. I've been doing this since I was a kid. And sometimes you have to go back to the things that you used to do. So I have family members, and it looks all lopsided. Let me fix that again. My family members, they need hats because they're all in New York City, right? So they hopefully, they're probably going to watch this. Hopefully they appreciate this. I got family in Atlanta. All of them are cold right now. Everybody's looking, everybody's looking for a hat. So I started asking them, I said, well, what's your favorite color? Now, the only thing I'm afraid of is that sometimes when you give people stuff, your family members, they don't appreciate it. And if I find out that they threw it in some corner and I find it, in the back of their closet years from now, untouched, still in the package, right? This is for my cousin Yvette. Still in the package, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be ticked. I probably won't talk to her for a while. But Yvette likes white, right? She's probably going to watch this later on. Yvette likes white, so I went ahead and did this for her. This is Yvette's hat, right? So you got to find stuff that you like to do to keep your mind at rest. Because hopefully she needs this, because I know it's cold there. I talked to them yesterday. It's cold in New York. It's been cold for a while. But you got to do stuff to keep your mind, going. But crocheting is a sit down art. And don't stay there all day. Is Cece here? Hi, Cece. Oh, what did I miss? Hello, Sharon. Excuse me. Shawnee 2003. Who else did I miss? Full Circle Chick. I already said hi to you. Okay. Darth X, how you doing? So, you do things, and I use this as a mannequin, for my hats. I bought this a long time from a wig store, because y'all know I wear wigs, right? I do. Sometimes. Now, not right now. I ain't feel like putting nothing on my head. But you got to do something to keep your mind straight, but you got to also keep moving. Now, I told you my yard is a mess. I got pots and pans everywhere. And it's mainly from things that have passed away, because I could not do it. You only can do so much. When a storm is coming in, you got to you got to decide, okay, what has priority out here? Because we plan a whole bunch of stuff. And man, I decided to myself, I planted this stuff, and they say that you can grow it in Texas, but just because they say you can grow it in Texas doesn't mean that you can grow it in Texas, because shoot, they'll sell you something and the weather will come in and you won't have no plant unless you run out there every year and cover it up. And I'm like, I want stuff that is native to this area. And sometimes they fool you. Darth X, I have nice hair. All right. That's because I tamed it with a bunch of product. So let me go to the chat. So what I wanted to know is, I even started doing chair yoga, because I was like, I am not going out in that cold and walking and I don't like being cold. That's why I moved to Texas. I do not like cold, and apparently I didn't move far south enough, because it's cold here right now, and I'm a little irritated about that. So there are things that you have to do to keep your mind straight, and you have to also keep your body going. I know that some of you all, everybody's different. Some people, I don't like cold either. Cece, yeah, see, poor Cece. I thought it was bad out here. I saw Cece's garden. I see Cece in her garden, because I watch you all the time. I may not comment, but I watch, and I watch to the end, so that counts for something. I saw her out there, and she had like, I don't know, over an inch of snow. And I said, oh no, I'm complaining about my little, drift of snow. What I was worried about was that ice, though. If you have ever fell down on cement because of ice, you will know what I'm talking about. That is the most painful thing. Luckily, when I fell, I was young. Because right now, oh, Cece said, girl, it was past my ankles. Oh no, that's about 2-3 inches, right? I don't like snow. I don't like cold weather. I didn't know. I'd have thought, but however, you see that I went out there the other day and I harvested mustards, and I was harvesting about a week ago. I was harvesting eggplant. They were still alive because it didn't get that cold. It's like we get snaps of cold. It's like cold for a couple of days, and then it'll go back to like 68, 70 degrees, a comfortable temperature. This one, This one's still here. It's still cold here, and I gotta go. I gotta go and feed some chickens up in the hills. I was like, oh god, I've been putting it off. Um, Cece said my dog almost got stuck to the ice. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Uh, Man, it forms this. It gets so cold, right, on some structures like metal, that if you put your hand on it, it will stick to it. I remember doing that as a kid, man. I didn't know y'all got it bad out there in the Houston area, man. Let me see. Let's go to the chat. CC, let's see. So what do you all do in the interim, in the in between? We got 8 inches of snow in central Louisiana yesterday, and it was 9 degrees this morning. That's cold. Afternoon, just came home from the mountains. It was -3 last night. Who was that? The front porch gardener. It was -3 last night and 5 degrees this morning. And we down south, right? I moved down south for a reason. Because I told my family I am not, when I retired, I told them not come back up there. Wow, there's so many things. Southern City Girl Garden in Jamerica. What's the funniest chicken? What is the friendliest chicken? I'm trying to face my fears of them. Rhode Island Reds. But every chicken is different. As far as I know. I have two, and they're both friendly. But they're red, and they're that rusty red. They're cute though. I mean, they're not the cutest, but they're cute, and they're friendly. Another one that's friendly is Cochins, but Cochins, I wouldn't recommend them unless you're up north because they're not heat tolerant, but they're very pretty. Cochins are very pretty. They got you ever heard me sing that? She got them apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. They have little feathers on their legs. They have a lot of fluff, but they need to be up north or Midwest, not down south. So if you said Southern City, well, if you down in the South, like Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, around that 9-8 area, they don't do well. Sometimes I have to bring them in the summer. They don't do well. So and they don't lay a lot of eggs either. Rhode Island Reds lay an egg almost every day. Them brown eggs, big ones, big brown eggs. But the Cochins don't. So let's go back to what we do. Well, that's one of the things I have to do is the chickens. You have to take care of that. My family started calling me a farmer. I don't care. They in New York. They got to buy everything. They in New York City. They can't, well, they could have chickens, but they ain't supposed to have chickens. Let's see. Let me see if I missed anything. See, this thing is different. I'm so used to having scrolling. I'm so used to scrolling that if I missed your comment, I'm sorry. Jamerica, that's the friendliest. Oh, okay, I got that one. CC Texas Gone says, I will be 70 Sunday. What? It will be 70 Sunday. Oh, what the H? Yeah. I told you Texas is different. We get that snap of cold, it goes and destroys any tropical plant that has not been around for years. Sometimes they got the big ones too. And then it leaves. And it's like it had never been here. The birds start showing up and chirping. All the finches show up. I don't really like finches. Finches, I think they're the ones spreading that bird flu or whatever the thing is. Finches start showing up. All kind of birds show up. And then it comes back. I don't trust it until about March that we're not gonna get a cold snap. Bar Brownie, temperatures were about 18 below zero with the wind chill this morning. Now warming up to 12 degrees with 2 below wind chill. Where are you? That is, if I missed your comment, I'm so sorry. I'm having trouble because I'm keep on touching the screen and this thing is not screen friendly. I have a new computer here and I'm not seeing all of the chat. It's just scrolling up and I don't know how to scroll down yet. So please forgive me. I'm not just ignoring you. I just don't see it. I'm trying to see as much as I can. Christy Lynn outside. Okay, CC Texas Garden. Bar Brownie lives in what? In the tundra? Oh. Christy Lynn outside. I had birds that buried herself in a pile of leaves in my backyard, in my back door. I scared her off when I went outside. Poor thing. Yeah, poor baby. Yeah. That's my art. How you doing? And I thought Atlanta weather was crazy. Texas, y'all have us beat. Atlanta, y'all are colder than us though. I think CC is also in zone 9. But that don't mean nothing when a cold front. The cold front went to Mexico. So I mean, they're tropical. We're subtropic. We're subtropic. That's why we're complaining. I'm just happy that we still have electricity, because sometimes when these weather patterns come down south, the infrastructure is not made for cold weather, and all of their who I forget who runs our electricity. ERCOT, I think. Their equipment freezes the whole state, almost the whole state, except for like emergency places, emergency lines, goes dark. Millions of people lose electricity. And guess what? A lot of people don't have those solar generators. They don't have, some of them just don't have the money for the solar generators, or they just didn't think about it. A lot of people are in apartments. We have apartments in Austin. The apartment game has just taken over. There's more apartments being built in empty spaces. It used to be houses, single family dwellings. More apartments are being built where there used to be land. And if you're in an apartment, it's going to be hard for you to garden unless you have a balcony. And if the lights go out, guess what? You better have a solar generator. And if you're in an apartment, how are you going to charge your solar generator? In the window? Unless you have a balcony. It's really hard. And there's so many apartment buildings going out. But we're talking about what we do in the wintertime. So I organize my seeds, and then I plant the things that I know are going to have a short season, like tomatoes. Determinate tomatoes. Those birds are running around. I got to get them out of this house. They're getting on my nerve. So I got my beefsteak tomatoes right here planted. I got my eggplant planted, and I have my bell peppers planted. The thing is, you got to keep your stuff going. A lot of people wonder, well, how, I don't buy seedlings, and no shame to anybody who does. I just don't, I don't want to spend the money for the seedlings, and because I could do it myself. I've learned to do it. Initially, when I first started planting seeds when I was a kid, because I've been doing this for a long time, I was amazed when they started popping up. You're always surprised when a plant starts coming up. Y'all see that little one? Urban's here. Which Urban? Because I know 2 of them. Urban Gardening Chronicles, how you doing? How's it up in Canada? So all of this weather that has come down has shortened, I was holding on to my stuff my garden as long as I possibly could. Apparently the rabbits knew bad weather was coming, and they started eating all my stuff. I have 1 million rabbits back there. I might start trapping them because they're eating up all my stuff, and I don't like it. Let's see, Urban Gardening Crowd, cold like a, yeah, well, you in Canada. I thought my family's Jamaican too, by the way. Why is it that our families go from Jamaica to places like New York, which is super cold, or Canada? Well, people are going to the United States and Canada for jobs, so I guess you go where the work is, but shoot. That is a drastic difference. I've been to Jamaica. I can only stay so long. I'm going to try to get my citizenship, a dual citizenship for Jamaica by descent, because I can do that. But, man, I was like, how did Grandma and Mom, my mother, my mother got sick when she came to the United States, by the way, deathly sick. How did they go from Jamaica to New York City? The temperature is just different. And the growing is different. My grandmother in Jamaica, a lot of people are farmers. They grow their food. That's why when, like, there are things that, and I do this in the wintertime, I have avocado seeds, and I don't buy the, what is that avocado that everybody is what is it? That one that I don't really care for. The small little one. That one, I don't think that thing is truly made for you to grow. I always buy the tropical avocados and I plant those because when I first started that, and that's some of the things I do in the wintertime. I will get a seed from the supermarket, and we're getting less and less seeds nowadays. If I don't know if you noticed, I will get a seed, and wintertime is a time to hosta. What is it? Oh no, has that thing. That's not a normal avocado. Any plant that cannot grow, how am I gonna say it, without being grafted, is not a normal plant. You think Jamaicans and when I first started planting seeds, because I have a tropical avocado and I only buy them, they're more money. Seed packets with only 10 seeds. Yeah. Yeah, they're cutting down on the seeds too. But if you grow your stuff, right? If you start your stuff now, right? And for people with short seasons, and you let it get to the point where it's ripe, go ahead and harvest your own seeds, and you'll be amazed how many seeds you can collect. As a matter of fact, in the wintertime, that's some of the things you can do. Some of the stuff that is dried up, just pull it off and get those seeds off and start putting them away. Okra. I will never have to buy another okra seed in my life. I will never have to buy another sorrel seed in my life. What else did I collect? When you start collecting your seeds, or the stuff dries out, and if it dies and it went to seed on you, let the plant go to seed and collect your seeds. And then in times like these where you have a bunch of seed pods, go ahead and start harvesting your seeds. Because once that stuff dries out, basil, basil will go to seed on you. And basil, I love that plant. Basil, I'm growing it right now. I have seedling basils right now because first of all, they protect, not all of them, but most bugs don't like basil. They stay away from it. So if you put a basil plant next to your tomato plant, you ain't gonna have no problems. As a matter of fact, last year I put the basil plant next to my zucchini plant. And the one that had the basil surrounding it, had two basils on each side. That was the last one to get the vine board. But the vine board did get it. It just, at least I got something. Because those vine board, they were eating up everything. Let me see what else. Seed packets with 10 seeds, Darth X said. Urban saying hello. CC Text said basil. Yeah, basil. Basil is a good plant though. Plant basil. If you want to keep, you don't want to put a lot of pesticides on your stuff, go ahead and get some basil. And apparently it's the smell of the basil. And basil to me smells really good. Basil will stop them from eating it. Well, will deter them or throw the scent off, because the scent is what brings the bugs. All they'll smell is the basil, because basil has a powerful smell. Don't plant dill though. Do not plant dill. I'm just warning you. More marigolds is another one. Do not plant dill near your plants and think that the dill is gonna deter bugs. As a matter of fact, you're gonna find bugs, caterpillars on your dill plant. Just warning you. This is just my experience. Somebody else might be saying, plant dill, to deter bug, or they say plant herbs. Not all herbs are the same. Dill is one of those that, now, I haven't seen any bugs on thyme. Haven't seen any bugs on basil. Oregano, I haven't seen any bugs on that either. Those three are the only ones I can vouch for. But dill, I found caterpillars eating the dill. It was bringing stuff. So let me see what else. Speak on seeds. Yes, I got about 200 seeds from only two. Oh yeah. And you know what gets me? Who said that? Full circle chick. That's what gets me. I'm like, okay, if I'm getting a bunch of seeds from 3 pods of okra, why is this so expensive? And why are they only giving us so many seeds? Maybe you know, they think that if, you know, some people think, and it might be true, that people don't appreciate things if you give them too much. Let me tell you another trick I learned. Microgreens. I didn't even think about it. Microgreens are just regular seeds. So you can get a whole big bag of kale, right? And I don't recommend you do this. You get a huge bag of kale, microgreens, and that is actually mixed kale seeds. You ain't got to buy those, and you better share it with your friends because you're going to have a pound of it, and a pound of it is a lot, or a half a pound, or even, shoot, even a quarter of a pound is a lot of seeds. But microgreen seeds are just regular seeds. So if you want to grow those, go ahead. Another thing that I'm going to plant I've been experimenting. That's what I do in the wintertime. I experiment with different seeds. Mung beans. Mung beans provide, first of all, it's a nitrogen fixer, right? And you'll get a crop of mung beans. And a lot of people don't eat mung beans. I know this is going to be a new one for a lot of things. I grow my own kale seeds as microgreens. Yes, but microgreen kale seeds are just kale that you harvest early. I went and bought some mung beans during the, you know, the little lockdown, the little problem we had a couple of years ago. And they've been sitting in the cabinet for years, right? So I said, well, what do you do with these mung beans, right? Because I didn't know. I was just buying up stuff because everybody in Texas, and CC can vouch for this, in Texas, when we have a cold snap, you better go before everybody else goes because everything is going to be gone. The shelves are going to be empty. And I didn't even go out there. I was like, shoot, I ain't going out there to fight with them people. I'm not going to do it. Not fight with them, but fight. Basically, everybody's buying everything. Cece said everything. Everything. First thing to go is the water. Well, before the storm came in, I went to the Costco's, right? And they had put out a couple of pallets of water. And I heard the manager, tissue, milk, bread, eggs, everything, beans. And I'm thinking to myself, what are they going to do with those beans if we don't have any electricity? Now, mung beans, you just soak those and sprout them. That's what I'm going to do. Mung beans provide protein, and shoot, y'all are probably ate mung beans and didn't know if you eat any kind of Chinese food. But I sprouted some mung beans, and I thought to myself, wait a minute. If these things will sprout in a jar and you just sprout them in a little bit of water, shake them up in about 3 days, you got a harvest, just like microgreens, except they're sprouts. I think the stores hide them in the back. No. The guy at Costco was saying, he said, we're going to put all the water out and it'll be gone by tomorrow. I went there in the middle of the night because I didn't want to deal with the crowds. I went there just before they closed. As a matter of fact, the lady was like, I need you to start from the back because we're getting ready to close the store. And I was like, I went straight to the back to the water. I was going there anyway. I got my little water just in case. And I heard the manager in the front said, tomorrow all the water will be gone. All of it. He said, put it all out. It'll all be gone. Man, panic mode. But in the wintertime, you got to do stuff like that in Texas. I've never seen that in any other state except Texas. I have never experienced the ravaging of stores. But that's another thing. That's another story. That's not, another thing. That's another thing about the weather and people going into panic mode and buying up everything. And they buy in bulk. So I went and I got the microgreens, right? Angela Colonel, my local feed store doesn't sell seeds by the scoop, but they sell local eggs for under $6. Is that how much eggs are going for? Wow. I'm going to start selling eggs at the market, and we got a place called Lockhart. Nah, I'm just going out to the country. They got their little thing. I just have to figure out the form because I got too many eggs. Make friends with people who have chickens. Then you ain't got to worry about $6 is a lot for eggs. That's a lot for a dozen of eggs. But feed is, how much is it for a bag of feed? In Texas, feed for layers, feed is about $15.99. And I get, let me see. Not all my chickens are laying, but the ones that are laying lay about every other day, I say. Broke Farmer, how you doing? How you doing? He's in the bushes. All right. Thank you for coming. Let's talk about the price of toilet paper. Well, everything is going up. That's why we got to grow our stuff. And that's why you use the time in the in-between, in the interim to experiment. Because I had those mung beans sitting in my cabinet for years. And do you know they sprouted? So then I went on, the YouTube, right? And I found out that mung beans are a nitrogen fixer and you get a crop within 60 days. I said, well, I need a nitrogen fixer because I've been growing stuff in that plot over there for a while. And 60 days, that means I could grow it, get all of my mung beans out, right? And mung beans is a good protein source. And you just dry them out and put them in your cabinet. And when you run out of food, go ahead and sprout them. Let me show you I took some mung beans because I didn't think they were going to grow because they've been in that cabinet for at least 6 years. You can hold on to, apparently you can hold on to seeds for a long time if you have them. And I bought it from the supermarket and I sprouted them and I was like, who knew? I thought all bird beans were nitrogen fixers. They probably are, but I know for sure that mung beans are. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because sprouts are expensive too. Seed sprouts are expensive and they're protein, and you just cook a little bit of rice and you soak I ain't gonna tell you how to cook them. You take some what did I use? I used soy sauce, duck sauce, not duck sauce, oyster sauce, and some what is that? Some oil. What was it? Seed oil. And I mixed it all together, and sesame seed oil. And I mixed it all together, put on some rice, and guess what? That's a protein. Just in case you get stuck in the house. But I do all kind of things. The thing is that I am Bar Brown and say, hey, bro, from the front porch. And the thing is, you do all your experimenting in the wintertime so that when the actual season comes around, you're not scrambling. Now, you don't have to do this, right? You know that I do this because I want to know what the seed does. There are certain seeds that you require certain things. Some stuff requires heat. Your nightshades are going to require heat. People put heating pads under their tomatoes, bell peppers, bell peppers, eggplant, and I believe cucumbers. Cucumbers going to come up anyway. But then there are people who grow in the ground. There are people who are cold sowing right now, throwing containers out. CC's one of them. Taking seeds, putting them in a container like a Pepsi bottle or a milk jug, and putting them outside. And when spring comes around, the seed comes up. Because some seeds require stratification, which means that they need a cold spell. I started putting stuff, winter sowing. Yes, CC. I put some of the stuff in my refrigerator, but you don't have to do that. Some people just take seeds and throw it in the ground. Now, I took my turnip seeds and I threw it down into the ground because I was like, you know what? When it warms up, it'll just come up. But in the wintertime, in the interim, in the middle, where you think you can't do stuff in your garden, you actually can. And if you're in an apartment and you can't do that, well, there's Winter Indoor Gardening. GT Jr. and Mike's K at a Garden are running the WIG 2024. You could do that. Learn how to grow indoors. Miss JK Gardner, how you doing? How you doing? Welcome. So there are things that you can do in the winter. Experiment. Learn how to grow stuff indoor, or learn how to start stuff indoors. And if you have the room outside, go ahead and throw it outside. Put it. You ain't got to put it in containers. Some people are taking watermelon seeds, and this is the trick to watermelon. People are just putting them out. Food forest permaculture. How you doing? He knows a lot of stuff. His yard is awesome. I saw what he did last year. I was like, man, I need to, start incorporating some of the things that he does in his yard. Because, man, he had put them outside, had a little a dome over it, and they grew. And I think you're in Canada, right? His yard is awesome. But some people direct sow, other people buy seedlings, some people grow in containers. Grow in these little pods like I do. But everybody, the only people that I want to talk to are the people who have not tried it. And the people, this is the time to experiment, because you can get discouraged if a seed doesn't grow. When I start growing a seed, sometimes, and I didn't realize this for a couple of years, I started researching what other people did to grow the seeds, because all seeds do not grow. Example, chamomile and I think marshmallow root, they got to be planted in the light. I planted calamundan seeds and have 2 seeds grown. Yes, man, where are my limes? So real. I'm gonna get a lime. I'll be right back. All right, let's talk about real stuff, right? This is a lime. Limes turn from green to yellow to orange. It's still a lime. It still tastes like a lime. Let me show you what a real lime looks like. This is why we grow our own stuff. I gotta be careful that I don't cut the seeds, because they have seeds in it. And if you buy a plant, because they're selling trees now that are seedless. Seed is life. That's a form of control. See that? That's what a real fruit is supposed to look like. You're supposed to have seed, and you're supposed to have a lot of them in there. Look at that. You know how many seeds are in this little lime? 1 million of them. And when I was a little girl, I used to complain about how many seeds were in these plants, right? That's what it's supposed to look like. You go to the supermarket and you're not going to see that anymore. And guess what? I have planted these and they come up. Not all of them. That's why I leave them on this long. Because I want the seed to be mature. I want the seed to look like this. Now, when you buy it from the supermarket, if there is a seed in it, it's something that looks like this. This does not grow. Most likely, though, these do. The big ones. This is what fruit, and you can smell it. This is what fruit used to be like. And it's disturbing that it's becoming less. There's becoming less. I'm finding out lemons, now they're going after the citrus. Lemons, and who's complaining about the seeds? Nobody who knows what we know as gardeners is complaining about seeds. And I've experimented with these also, because I was like, I wonder if even if I buy something from the supermarket, I say, I wonder if I dropped it on the floor. I wonder, just like that, I got that many seeds. I wonder, with the exception of this little fledgling one, if that will grow. And there are plenty of them in here. There's at least 20 seeds in this one lime. And that's the way it's supposed to be. But when I buy stuff, right, I say, I wonder if I can grow that seed. And now, less and less of the stuff that we get can be grown. One time I went, and this is, as I said, wintertime is a time where you need to experiment with your seeds and get your seeds and your seed stock in order, because Dollar Tree is a good place to go if you don't have a lot of money. They went up by 25%. Instead of 25 cents, it's like 31 cents a packet. I think it's American Seed Company. Now, American Seed Company doesn't just sell at Dollar Tree. They also sell at Walmart. Same seed company, it's $1 at Walmart, and it's only 31 cent. Oh, it's a 33 cent. 31 cent at Dollar Tree, but it's the same seed company. So some people are like, oh no, I'm just gonna go to Walmart and buy their seeds, and they think that they're getting a better product. It's the same company, less money. I don't know if the seed count is as much, but Dollar Tree, I only need about 10 seeds to grow something. But once you grow it yourself, go ahead and get your own seeds and then experiment with it in the wintertime and find out how to grow it. I'm not going to say all of these will grow. Not. But I got the lime. I could use this, and I have the seed where I can try. Most likely, I'll get at least one or two out of these if I do things right. What? Why did they take the seed? Why are they taking the seeds out of everything? Why are they now selling us trees that won't produce seeds? It's weird. It's weird. I talked to my cousin. This is off topic, and he went and bought some chicken from one of the chicken places in Maryland. I have family all over the United States. He said that the wing was connected to the leg. There was no rib cage in between. I told him, "Did you eat that?" He said he gave it to his work. He's a plumber, and I said, "Yeah, that something was wrong with that." They're growing, some of the stuff that is being grown right now is becoming seedless, and it's becoming genetically modified. So collect your seeds, and in the middle, in the interim, go ahead and get your stock supply together. I'm not saying don't hoard a bunch of seeds. I'm not saying that like me, because I got a bunch. Got a million seeds. I have less than some, but way more than a lot. Collect your seeds, buy your seeds, and buy stuff that is not. Don't buy stuff like, I hate to say, those Hass avocados that you can't get an avocado from. Buy stuff that has seeds in it, right? And then learn how to grow them, or buy a seedling, and hopefully you can get some seeds from that, because seedlings, there's nothing wrong with them. They're the same thing. You get the same beef steak. You're just gonna pay a little bit more for it. You're gonna get the same beef steak that I'm gonna get from seeds. But once the beef steak grows, go ahead and get your seeds out, collect them up, and if something goes to seed, don't just chop it down. Let it finish going to seed. Collect your seeds, and that's what you do in the winter. Man, you know what? I'll never plant again. And I don't realize you can eat this loofah. Aggressive, very aggressive. You'll get way more. I don't want any more loofah. I don't think I'll ever grow that again, because it's just too much. And that's a good thing to know, right? If you grow your own seed, you're gonna know. And you can buy seeds that you cannot buy you can eat things that you cannot eat at the supermarket. And they don't taste the same, by the way. I just cooked some mustards. My mustard video came out today. I cooked some of those mustards, and I was like, this tastes way better than the stuff that I got in the supermarket. Mustard seeds are dust level. So collect your seeds. If you have to, buy your seeds. If you want to, buy your seedlings. But you can grow a seed either in a little pot. You don't even need to do this. I just dropped some water on this. I'm mad at myself now. Let me move this out the way. Collect your seeds and get them in order, and start your seedlings, because you start your seeds in wintertime, and you learn how to grow your seeds in the middle in wintertime. And Joe, the Abundant Life Gardener, how you doing? What is it? Maybe people who think they have a brown thumb should grow loofah to boost their confidence. Yeah, it's gonna boost your confidence. That'll grow. I'm gonna tell you some of the things that grow really easy. Just a moment. Move this out the way. So this is just from my experience, and there's other people out here who have. Now, tomatoes. They grow tomatoes. You know what the standard for growing tomatoes, and how they learn that tomatoes will grow. Tomatoes will grow anywhere, even in the landfill. Tomatoes is one of them. Especially those cherry tomatoes. The little ones. You put those tomatoes out there, they're gonna grow. And they ain't gonna stop growing until it freezes. Cherry tomatoes. Now, if you got a hot summer like I do, just try to keep them alive. They will produce early spring, and then they'll produce in the fall. Up north, they're probably going to produce the whole time. Cherry tomatoes. And you all can do the stuff like beefsteak tomatoes and all that stuff. Cucumbers. Gosh. cucumbers will put out. You'll have so many cucumbers that you ain't gonna know what to do with. Loofah. Loofah is super aggressive. Did I say aggressive? It covered almost the entire chicken coop. It was going everywhere. And I didn't know you could eat loofah. When loofah is little, when it's small, you can cook it. But after a while it becomes fibrous. So you got to get it quick. Loofah is another one. What's another one that's easy to me? Tomatoes, loofah, cucumbers. What else? Does anybody have any ideas? Because I'm running out of things. Because my mother thought that she had a brown thumb. And now her yard is beautiful. She's like, I can't grow everything. Anything I touch just dies. And I'm like, oh yes, beans, okra, sweet potatoes. Sweet potato. I was in sweet potato heaven or, HE. I kept on getting a sweet potato. Sweet potatoes, it was a blessing. I got a garage full of sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes, by the way. And I've been eating them. Now, you're going to be disappointed with some of the sweet potatoes. If you grow them naturally, bugs are going to go after them. But the bugs are not going to get all of them. And the sweet potatoes that I can't eat, I cut it in half and go. Chickens like sweet potatoes, by the way. Oh, they'll be so happy. So the ones that I don't eat, if I open it up and it looks like, a bug got to it, I'm like, oh, man. Take them outside and give it to the chickens. Let's see. So beans is one of them that I forgot about. And beans is a nitrogen fixture. If your soil, if your leafy greens are not looking green, go ahead and plant some beans real quick. Go ahead and get all of those up and keep some of the seeds. Save some of the seeds. Let some of them turn brown on the stem and go ahead and do that. Okra, if it's hot, I recommend okra and sweet potatoes. They like heat. Them two like heat. They'll be so happy. As long as you give them water and keep them, let them dry up, go ahead and do it. And if you grow okra, you're going to have some seeds. Eggplant. Eggplant is, as a matter of fact, this is an eggplant right here. This is Black Beauty coming up right here. Eggplant will grow for you, and eggplant is a pretty plant. It has big leaves. I can't compare it to anything in here. It has these big leaves, and then the flowers are purple. They're pretty. I like them. So okra, eggplant. Let me see if I missed anybody. And I keep on trying to touch the screen. It looks at me like, what? How many pounds of sweet potatoes did I get? I don't know. But I know I gave my neighbor about 10, 15 pounds. Two of them. One over here, and then he got about 7 to 10 pounds. I didn't weigh it. I just, I arm weighed it by how much I think it was, because I took a grocery bag and I gave it to her, and then I let him pick some. No guarantees that they looked the way they looked. That's why I gave him a bunch of them, just in case bugs got in it, because I don't put pesticides on my vegetables. So, and with a potato, it might look good on the outside, but I have cut some open and I see like little black lines, and I just give it to the chickens, and I go ahead and get another one. Or I cut the bad part out and I eat the rest of them and give the bad part to my chickens. Radishes. I don't like radishes, but radishes, you will get a crop in less than 30 days. Them radishes will come up, and your soil does not have to be the best. It will go up. I beg your neighbors be peeping over the fence and just waiting. Well, one of my neighbors, she's a gardener. She don't have a YouTube channel, but she's a gardener. She's one of my neighbors. And her yard is nice. She gardens differently from me. Her stuff is, her husband and her went out there and made these really nice defined beds, and then they have lights over it. It's really pretty. I don't think she has a YouTube channel, but she gardens differently from me, but shoot. My opinion, as long as you're trying. Everything is not going to work out the first time you try it. The first time I planted, what was it that gave me a hard time? Lavender gave me a hard time. What else was it? What gave me a hard time? Spinach gave me a hard time. Because it's Hot air. Spinach don't like heat. It don't like it. Let me see. Peppery. Yeah, they don't be. They're not peeping over the fence. They just went and found my YouTube channel. She told me, I found you. I found you on YouTube. I was doing a video on that side, and she must have heard me say my name. It's fine. It's just fine. I was just happy she subscribed. Shoot, I didn't care. Um, let's see. Darth X. I haven't been successful at sweet potatoes. I just need to find a variety that grows where I am. Huh. I went to the supermarket and got my sweet potatoes. I went and bought some organic sweet potatoes from the supermarket because they're less money than those seed potatoes that they sell all over the place. Them little bags with these little itty bitty sweet potatoes in there. I go and get some big old juicy sweet potatoes before I grew them. Got some big old juicy sweet organic sweet potatoes from the supermarket. Let the slips, which are the vines, grow out of the sweet potatoes. Shoot, I do that with a lot of stuff. Let the vines grow out of the sweet potatoes. And then, these are not sweet potatoes. This is ginger. And then I just, broke off the slips, put it in some water, and then planted the slips, the vines with the little roots on it, into the ground. This is ginger. This is organic ginger that I got from the supermarket. It takes a long time to come up, by the way, so don't give up on it. I'm spilling water on myself. But this is ginger. That's why you buy organic, because sometimes, let me tell you another thing about what they do to us. And I just experienced with that. Took the ginger, I saw little studs coming up on the sides, and I just put it in the dirt. And I waited a long time. It seemed like months. And all of a sudden they started coming up after replant that is busting out of the pot. Look, it's a little Dollar Tree pot. I'm a Dollar Tree connoisseur, but look at that. That's why it's on this table. It has to be up potted. So I have to find another pot to put it in. But most of the stuff that I like, sweet potatoes, turmeric, ginger, root crops, taro, which is oko. So somebody calls it a different name. I call it taro. Little taro, all of that stuff I get from the supermarket and planted. So, I do what I can. You can grow, who's that? Paprika. You can grow ginger and turmeric together. And another thing, I was listening to another YouTuber. He puts turmeric, I think, under his pepper plants and companion plants, those two together. And he says they both do very well. So I'm going to try that. Edos, that's what they call them. Yes. And initially grew Edos from the store. That's what they call taro. Initially, I was arguing with this lady. I was so mad at her. She was like, oh, those are Edos. I said, no, they not. They taro. I was so mad at her. They're the same thing. It's just a different variety of taro. It's the same thing. I felt like such a fool because I went to the supermarket and I saw the taro there, right? And the Edos, they're smaller. They're a smaller variety of taro. And I looked at it and it said Edos in little letters. I was like, oh. Just like lemongrass. Lemongrass in Jamaica, a variety of lemongrass in Jamaica is called, oh gosh, I'm losing it. What is it? I'm getting ready to say feverfew, but it's not feverfew. It's called fever grass. And one of the ladies, she was must have been watching my channel, right? And I had my lemongrass. And in Jamaica, they harvest, because I'm a parent right now. I'm not a Jamaican until I get my passport, my citizenship. We cut off the top, the leaves of the lemongrass, and we make the tea out of it. Well, apparently they didn't know that. They said, she doesn't know what she's doing. She's harvesting the grass. And I was like, yes, it's called fever grass in Jamaica. Just like you could take leaves of some of these plants and boil them down and make tea out of it. Same thing with lemon. So the things that the different countries know different things about different plants and do different things or use different parts of different plants. And unless you experiment and expand your horizon, don't just listen to one set of people. You got to go out and listen to a variety of people from different countries and different places, because they grow things that we don't grow. They could possibly save our lives one day, like those mung beans. I was mad about those mung beans because they ain't cheap. They're like $5, $6 years ago, and for a little pack. And then I went ahead and found out that I could grow them in 60 days, and I got a whole pack of them, which is a lot, and you can sprout them yourself. So you got to, in the wintertime, in the in-between time, that's when you learn how to do things, or you try something that you have never tried to do. It doesn't have to be gardening, although I am a gardener, but I'm not just a gardener. I do all kind of things, especially in the wintertime, you know, to keep myself going. If it's cold out there, I'm not gonna go out there. I don't like cold weather. Anyway, how do you root turmeric? Well, the same way you do this. You take it and you put it in. This is how I do it. Not everybody does it the same. See that? I laid it in some soil, not completely submerged, just like I do a sweet potato, and eventually it's going to come up. And it's going to keep on going. Now, there was another thing that I noticed, and I got really upset about this, and this was an organic grower. I went to the supermarket. I'm dropping water all over the place. They had cut off the little nodes. They scraped them all off. So anything that looked like it was going to be sprouted, they chopped it off so that people like me could not grow it. I looked at that and I saw what they did. Cut off the little nodes. I put it right back down. So they don't deserve my money, because that's a selfish thing to do. If I'm paying for this root crop, don't take off my nodes and try to control the industry, because that's what they're doing. And it was a local thing. I don't even think the grocery store carries them anymore. They chopped off the nodes. So if you see a plant, right, it looks like somebody snipped off little nodes, just like they're putting the wire through the pineapple tops. I just don't buy it. I mean, if you have the capability, unless you can't find it anymore, don't buy it. I put it right back down. I said, you know what? I am not going to support this business, because they, just like the seeds are missing from our plants, they are inhibiting the capability of gardeners to go ahead and get this pack of seed, this pack of root crop or turmeric or ginger, and it happens a lot. They chop them off. They're trying to inhibit other people from growing it purposely. This is purposeless, because it takes a lot of work to get that stuff off, to chop it off or to cut it off with a knife. I just put it back down and leave it there. Let them come and get their stuff back. The store is not going to keep supporting that local business if they do stuff like that. I might be wrong. People, the company might say, well, you're supposed to be cooking with this. This is what they're basically, this is how I feel they're saying. You're supposed to be cooking with this. You're not supposed to be, this is not for you to grow with. This is for you to use in a dish. How are you going to tell me what to do with something I bought? So when I go to the grocery store, I look at stuff, and I don't really go to the grocery store unless I have to, right? I have stuff right now that I had to go and get from the grocery store, but I try to grow as much as I possibly can. And if I see something that I can grow, like taro, ginger, and sometimes turmeric, because turmeric is the one where I saw they were cut off the nodes, I'll go ahead and get it. But I'll look at that stuff. I'll look at it, especially the organic stuff, because that's more expensive. They shouldn't be doing stuff like that to organic. Organic means you left it as it is, not that you cut off all the nodes. Let's see. Edos are small golf ball size taro. Yep. And I was arguing with them. Broke farmers. I started all my cold, hardy citrus seeds in winter. Okay. Hey, and H2O Savior, hey, Jamerica, I have to watch the replay. I just tuned in. All right. Hello, Prepper Rookie. They deadhead pineapples. They're doing the same thing with ginger and turmeric. Same thing. And I started to see some of the top of the taro being cut off. I don't know if that was purposeful, though, because if they do that, it's going to rot on them. It's going to rot before we get to it. Darth X, I want to grow, what is it? Galaga? Thai ginger. Okay. But the ones that come to the grocery store are hacked into bits, no nodes. Yep. And they're doing it on purpose because they don't want you to be able to grow it. So I just put it back down till I can find one that has nodes on it so I could do what I do. And a lot of people are not doing this. I don't even understand why they would do something like that unless they just, special, real special. You don't want nobody to grow this stuff? Okay. Well, then you just keep it. And if nobody buys it, because very few people are going to be, organic is more expensive. People are not going to grow that. The people are not going to pay. A lot of people are not going to pay for organic. They're just going to the regular ginger and they're going to go ahead and get that. Or they're going to go to the regular turmeric and get that. And guess what? Sometimes when you go to the regular turmeric and regular ginger, there's sprouts on it. So go ahead and get that. Everything that every time they spray, and sometimes they don't spray. Sometimes the organic and the regular stuff might be the same stuff. That's just my opinion. And if the regular stuff looks better, juicier, and has nodes on it, I go ahead and get it. Because that means whatever they were using to inhibit growth, if they used anything, is not working. And I can grow it. Let me see. Laugh out loud because they need repeat customers. Yeah. They're trying to control the industry. Just like same thing with the seeds. No seeds? What are you selling me? Why are there no? I remember when I was a little girl and I used to complain because grapes used to have seeds in it. No more seeds in grapes. None. It used to, initially, it was that the grape seeds you could buy. First, they were all seeded back in the 70s. I'm showing my age, right? Then in the 80s, you could buy seed and seedless. And seedless was more money. And now you can't find any seeded grapes. You can only find seedless. It was a progression. Initially, they made people pay for this special stuff. And then the special stuff became the standard. Let me see. It's the Marshmallow Man. I soak ginger and turmeric in water for 24 hours before I put it in the dirt. I live in Ontario, Canada. So that's a way. That's probably a way to get all that stuff off. Mine grew. It took a while, so don't give up. You put it in the ground, you ain't gonna see ginger or turmeric for over a month. Just leave it there. Keep watering and leave it there. Just like with sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes need sunlight, by the way. This is for them to get those slips. So go ahead and put that in. This is stuff you do in the wintertime in the intermediate period. Go ahead and get your stuff ready. Sometimes, people just think that, voila, your garden just grew. No, stuff takes time and patience. You don't know. You're looking at this, right? And you're saying, man, where is my plant? It's been in here for a while and I don't see a sprout yet. And you get discouraged. And then you'll wake up one morning and then you'll see that one sprout is coming out. And once you see one, however many you planted, don't plant the whole pack of seeds because that's a mistake. I did that a long time ago. It's just everything's going to start popping up. You're going to see one and you're going to see 5, 10 of them all in the same little pot. Because I call this bulk plants. There's another word for it, but I use the word that is convenient for me. I just throw as many seeds as I want in this little thing, and then I water it and when it comes up, it comes up. As a matter of fact, I think I see one of them coming up. Let's see. So gardens don't just appear. The only way that I can see a person not planting in the wintertime or in the times like these, where you can't go outside or you shouldn't go outside. The table grapes usually have seeds. What did I miss? Let's see. I saw, wait. I have organic ginger that I'm about to grow for the first time. Shiny yeah, it's gonna grow. It's just gonna take a long time. Don't give up. Just keep watering it and put it down on the bottom of your shelf where you're not gonna be irritated and say it's not growing. I'm just gonna cook with it because that's what I was gonna do one time. Then I saw a little sprout come up, and then they all start sprouting, and then they bust out of the container after. I planted those before summer. So that's how long it takes. That's how long it takes. Um, H2O Samurai. I saw H2O Savior. I saw seedless lemons in the grocery store last week. Who wants that? They're all over Texas. They've been here. They have been here. And you might see a little fledgling dried up seed in there that you can't use. I don't want it. I don't want it. Let's see, Shani. Table grapes usually have seeds. I haven't seen. I saw one seeded grape since I've been here in Texas in 15 years. One group. The rest of them were all seedless. And I've looked for seeded grapes and I couldn't find them. Let's see. Christy Lynn outside. I'm growing sweet potatoes and ginger for the first time this year. All right. Well, great. Welcome to the is it a tuber? I don't know. Welcome to the ground crop squad. Because when you grow crops that you can't see, you can only see the plant on top and all of the stuff underneath is going on. You're like, man. And a lot of people, I've seen people do this, dig the stuff up too early because they're curious. I wonder if my potatoes are done. I wonder if my potatoes are done. If you don't leave them in there long enough, or if you don't give them enough space, you ain't gonna get a big sweet potatoes. You're gonna get little itty bitty ones. Or with sweet potatoes, if you don't grow slips and you just put the potato in the ground, I said this before, you're gonna get some sweet potatoes, but you ain't gonna get a bunch of them. The slips is what's gonna grow a lot of sweet potatoes. So grow your slips out of your sweet potato, which is just, I put it half and half. Well, I got it in the window right now because it needs sunlight. Half of the potato is on top, half is under the ground. Some people put it in a jar of water. However you get your slips. Vines are gonna start growing out the top, just like this ginger did. Don't do it with the ginger. Break the slips off and put them in a jar of water until warm weather comes. Then you go ahead and put them in the ground. Let's see. I have regular potatoes that are beginning to sprout. Can I put them in the ground? I'm in Virginia, zone 7A. So potatoes have diseases. So I'm not going to tell you to do that. They say you should use seed potatoes. Now, potatoes are a different family than sweet potatoes. They're not in the same family. They're totally different. People think that because they call sweet potatoes potatoes, that they're potatoes, but they're not. They're two different families. So with potatoes, you can cut off the little nodes and put them in the ground. Now, you're not supposed to do that with potatoes you buy from the grocery store because you can put disease into your soil. So buyer beware. Do what you want to do. Some people say if it sprouts, go ahead and put it in, no matter where you get it from. I'm not going to tell you to do that. It's up to you. But yeah, they will grow. I have friends who have done that. But you're risking spreading diseases. Because some of them potatoes ain't from the United States, they're from somewhere else. So beware. Let me see. Prepper rookie L laughing. I'm 0 to 2 on any potatoes. Oh, I'm sorry. Anna's backyard. Hi, Jamerica. I just got here. I have to watch the replay. Okay. Prepper rookie. I get slips and vines everywhere, but nothing even underneath the pot. My opinion, if you're gonna plant sweet potatoes or potatoes in a pot, you better put them in a big, huge pot. And even then, and because I've done it, even when you put them in a huge pot, I've had better success in ground. I'm just gonna say that. If your soil is tested, especially if you're in the inner city, and not poisoned, because when some people have lead and heavy metal poisoning and other stuff in their ground, and they cannot grow in ground. I have tried to grow potatoes in planters, and every time if I got anything, they were all small. And I've seen people who have put stuff in containers and got huge potatoes. I don't know what kind of mixture they're using, but the mixture of soil that I used did not produce either. It didn't produce a lot of potatoes, big potatoes, or any potatoes. So that's the risk you take. Because with in-ground crops, even though you see a lot of vines, and by the way, with sweet potatoes, you could eat those leaves. They taste like spinach. You put in your eggs, everything. I was harvesting the leaves and eating the leaves. Some people grow sweet potatoes just for the leaves. Potatoes, you can't do that. And potatoes, man, I got potatoes too. I have a potato thing, but mine went in ground because I already learned my lesson trying to grow them in a tote. And it didn't matter what size toad I used. None of them grew. I mean, well, they did grow, but they were like little puny. I was so mad because I was like, I wasted all this water, this time on these container potatoes, and look what I got. And then I look at some other people and they get 1,000,000 potatoes. Now, there's a difference between potatoes and sweet potatoes. You put sweet potatoes in like a 55-gallon pot of good soil, most likely you're gonna get some sweet potatoes, but potatoes are completely different. And the longer you leave sweet potatoes in the pot, the more you're gonna get. Sweet potatoes, I had sweet potatoes growing in a pot this size. Because I left them in there, right? I forgot they were in there. They were in the greenhouse. And the sweet potato slips was in there. And when I tried to, because I was planting them in the yard, I broke them apart. There were sweet potatoes in that little pot. So sweet potatoes and potatoes, they're not in the same family and they don't grow the same. Now, it depends on your soil. No guarantees if you're growing in a pot. No guarantees if you're growing in the ground. Everybody has this different experiences from different things. But the only way you're going to know if it'll grow or not is if you try. My experience with container gardening and potatoes was not a good one. I didn't get a lot. But then I saw people on YouTube who did. So it's up to you. I do in-ground because I'm living in farm ground. This is farmland, you know, so it grew. And the ground was not poisoned because heavy metals and all kind of stuff is in some people's soils. They do not have a choice but to grow in container. And there's nothing wrong with that either because I grow in containers too. You see my stuff. I have it in both. I use both. Let's see. Sounds like the soil and more time. And I don't know what kind of soil they use. Some people got a big huge harvest. And then I did it and it didn't work for me. It worked for me in ground. It didn't work for me in the container for potatoes. Other things grew. Let's see, pepper. Dan, I don't have room to do in ground. So do it in the containers. I have those laundry buckets. They're like 55-gallon laundry tubs that you get from Lowe's or Home Depot. They run about $10. Go ahead and get those. They're huge. I put trees in it. I don't have any in here. I thought I did. Yes, I do. Let me bring you over here. Let me show you what I bought. Because you can grow potatoes in this. But as I said, no guarantees that it's going to grow. This is a soursop that I drug inside, if y'all can see that. This is a laundry tub. See that? 55 gallons. Try to grow them in there. I use kosher potatoes for slips and grow in 50-gallon grow bags. I've never grown in grow bags, but I heard that they fall apart, so I ain't gonna do it. Y'all know I'm a cheapskate, right? I ain't tell y'all that. I ain't gonna. If I hear there's something, and I've seen some people's grow bags falling apart, and I was like, oh no, that thing right there. I follow some other people who have used those things for their trees. $10 for free for me. Oh, Prepper Rookie, free for you. Okay, shoot. Grow bags. Nah, if they ripping up on me, I'm gonna be ticked. Cause first of all, you got all that soil. You gotta get that. Large containers are great too. That is a laundry tub, a 55-gallon laundry tub, and you can plant tree. That's a tree in there. That's a soursop tree in there. Soursop. I'm gonna call it, say it the right way. That's a soursop tree in there. I ain't gotta move that tree for years. It's in there. But you can grow potatoes in there. I don't guarantee. I don't guarantee it, but it's big enough. It's big enough, but it's the luck of the draw. Some people get a lot of stuff. Some people don't get anything at all. I wasn't lucky. I didn't get anything until I put it in the ground. Potatoes and sweet potatoes included. Let's see. Prepper Rookie, free for me. Angela Calloway, how you doing? Yes, large containers are great too. Broke Pharma, they do fall apart. But those don't fall apart. And they're $10. At least they were last year. What you grow girl? I'm the grow bag queen. I said I'm frugal. What I saw was grow bag bags ripping, fraying, and soil, valuable soil that costs a bunch of money falling out the grow bags. And I said, oh no. That thing, I could slide that around because I brought that from outside to inside. I could slide that around and most likely it's not going to break or crack on me. I just put a couple of holes in it and I put my plant in there and that thing has been in there, I don't know, 2 years. And I have some other ones that have been in there for longer, 5, 6 years. That works for me. And that's $10 versus, a grow bag that may be the same amount of money that I'm gonna have to replace and that I can't move around. It's not as mobile. It's just my opinion though. You grow in what you want to grow in. If you want to do grow bags and it's working for you, go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do that. I don't, it's not my thing. But that as long as you're growing, as long as you are growing and you're experimenting, I'm not gonna experiment with grow bags because it's not just like, and I try stuff. That's the thing. In the wintertime, it's your time to shine at trying something new with growing. Because if you don't, when go time comes, you're going to be scrambling and just doing, haphazardly throwing down seeds and hoping for the best. When you practice, this is practice time. When you practice, and there's a beefsteak coming up right there. When you practice, you start learning what the seed likes, what the plant likes, and what it doesn't like. So that when go time comes, when it's time for you to plant your garden, first of all, you got seedlings already that you didn't pay an arm and a leg for, because a pack of seeds is running $4 to $5 versus one seedling for the same amount of money or more. To make that make sense. So anyway. So we've been on here for a while and I'm going to wrap this thing up. I just hope that everybody is trying something new, even if it's not gardening, even if you're, let me get a hat. Even if you're going ahead and crocheting, keep your mind at ease and do something different. Keep your mind at ease and do something different. And most of all, do something productive for yourself. All right. I hope you all having a safe day, week, month, because it's snowing out there. There's a lot of ice out there. Go ahead and put some salt on your ground so you don't slip. We don't want gardeners to be injured because then you can't go out in the garden. And some injuries are worse than others. So this is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. I thank all of you all for being with me, and I'll see you on the next one, all right? Bye.